welcome to my channel. My name is Jillian Vo, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you all of the baby names that my husband and I really liked for our son and were really considering but ultimately didn't end up going with. And at the very end of the video I'm going to reveal the name that we did choose for our baby, so make sure you stick around for that. As you can see, Taya is going to be joining us today. She's just hanging out with me in my baby's room, hanging out with me in the nursery. It's not much of a nursery yet because we haven't set up the crib, but it will be a nursery, so that's what we're calling it. But let's go ahead and get into the video. I have them all written down here in my notebook, so just bear with me if I'm like looking down. So the first name, this is one that I really liked. Hein was kind of like he wasn't like he didn't hate it, but he wasn't really excited about it. So I feel like pretty early on it was kind of crossed off the list, but I still really do like it, and that is Lincoln. I feel like anything that has happened to me in the past 3 years, I'm like not certain when in the past 3 years it happened, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it was December of 2018 was my best friend's wedding, and so when we were at her wedding, there was, I guess it was her husband's, I don't know if it was like his cousin or it wasn't his nephew, I think it was like his cousin's son was the ring bearer, and his name was Lincoln, and I'd never heard that name before except for like obviously like Abraham Lincoln. And so I thought it was a really cute name for a boy. I really liked it. I shared it with a couple people, and some people liked it, some people thought it was too like patriotic, I guess. I don't really know what Hein's thing was with it, but he just didn't really care for it that much, so we did not go with Lincoln, but I do really like that name. The next one is a name that I've honestly always really liked, and that's Landon. So the problem with this name, Landon has become such a popular boy's name, like such a popular, actually even for a girl, I've even seen girls named Landon. Landon has become such a popular baby name in the past like few years that it's crazy. Like that had been a name that was like on my list for baby names for years. I'd always really liked it. And then when it started coming time to think about names for my baby, I was like, you know what? I feel like everyone I know or like have seen through social media or whatever that has had a baby in the past few years has named them Landon. And so even though I still really like that name, I think it's a great name, we did not go with it because way too many people have that name. So, and we just, you know, not the name that we chose, I'm not saying the name we chose is like super unique and special and no one's ever heard of it before, because no, that's not true. But I would like him to have a name that's not like everybody else's name, you know? I feel like Jillian is a name that I was kind of lucky growing up that like I didn't know a million people with my name. People didn't mix me up with the other people with my name because it's not that common. So I kind of wanted that for my kid as well. So we didn't go with Landon. But another name that we really liked was Emmett. And I don't really know like where I first heard the name Emmett, or I don't have like a fun story about the name Emmett, but I just think it's a really cool name. I wish I had written down like what these names mean. One that, I think this is one that Hein really liked. There were a few that he was like really did like, and then the rest of them he kind of just like was like, okay, I don't care, like didn't really care. But the name Owen, which I think Owen's a super cute name. I think it's a good name for a baby. I think it's a name that like you don't outgrow. Like when they're an adult, they're not going to feel weird like their name is too young. When they're young, they're not going to feel like they have an old man name. I know that's like a weird thing to think about, but like when people name their kid like Richard or like George, I'm like, that poor kid, because he's not going to relate to his name until he's older, you know? So I feel like Owen is a good name for like all age groups, all stages of life. Another one that I really like is Jonah. Jonah is a biblical name. It's from the Bible. I really like it. I like the meaning behind it. I like the story behind it in the Bible. I've always really liked the name Jonah, so that's one that we liked as well. This one I think was Hein's favorite name. So all the way through like the name picking process, I feel like he was kind of like letting me take the reins on it. Like he was kind of like, any name that I picked, he would just be like, it's a good name, yeah, that works. Like he wasn't like, didn't care that much because he knew how much I cared about it. Like he knew how I am and how I've like always like thought about names for my kids, and I just like was really excited about picking a name. And so I think he kind of was like letting me take control of that. But the one name that he got like really really excited about and really really liked, and I think if we have another boy, this is probably the name we're gonna go with, is Jasper. So I think Jasper is a really cool name. This one I actually know the meaning behind it because we were like super close to naming him this. But that is, Jasper means like bringer of treasure. So I feel like that's so cute, like especially because like it's a baby and babies are like new life coming into the world, and it's like a gift to you and a gift to your family and a gift to the world. And I just think it's really cute that it would mean like bringer of treasure. I feel like ultimately Hein's a little disappointed that we didn't go with that name for this baby, but I'm almost 100% sure that our next baby, if it is a boy, is going to be named Jasper. Another name that I really liked was Elijah. They could go by Eli when they're little if they want, or forever, doesn't really matter. But I think Elijah is just a really cool name. I like it a lot. I like the name Taylor for a boy, which Hein was not like super into that, because I know that Taylor is like typically a girl's name, but I also like don't think it matters. I just think that that would be a cool like first name for a boy. I've never met anyone with the first name Taylor as a boy, but I know that it's a thing. Like I know that there are boys named Taylor, and I like it. So that was a name that I really liked. The last name that I have on my list is Jackson. So Jackson was one of the first names that I really really liked, and I think Hein liked it too. Can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure like he liked it too, kind of like how he was with the rest of them. Like he liked it, but he wasn't excited about it, if that makes sense. The reason that I ended up like crossing the name Jackson off my list so early on, I feel like, even though I really really like it, like I really like the name Jackson a lot. Before getting pregnant, like we had talked about having kids, and we had talked about, you know, what their names would be. Like I remember when we very first started dating, we always like made jokes about like our future son's name being Matthew. Was it Matthew? If it wasn't Matthew, I'm gonna feel really bad, but I'm pretty sure it was Matthew. And not even that we like super are obsessed with the name Matthew, because like we're not. It just kind of like became this thing. Like we would talk about our future son and his name was Matthew. I don't know why, but anyway, like the point is that we talked about baby names like long before we even were having a baby. And so Jackson was one that I always liked and always thought about. But here's the thing. There is a family channel on YouTube that I really like. I watch them a lot. And they are also from Florida, right? I used to have like bleach blonde hair. I've gone back in the last like year and a half, I've gone back to my natural red color. But for about a year and a half, I did have, was it a year and a half or just a year? For about a year, I'm gonna say, I had like platinum blonde hair, which was really fun, but very hard to keep up with because my hair grows super fast. So I would just have these like fiery red roots all the time, and so I'd have to bleach my roots all the time, which was like killing my hair. This is like a long lead up to the fact that this family channel on YouTube, the girl has blonde hair, right? The girl has bleach blonde hair. The husband is Vietnamese. If you don't know this, my husband is Vietnamese, okay? They both live in Florida. We live in Florida. And, you know, they're like on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. So they have a son named Jackson. Cutest kid in the world. Love them, love him. Anyway, I just felt like it was like too many coincidences. Like I was like, okay, we can't look like them, live where they live, also do what they do, and like now name our kid the same name that their kid has. The point is that I didn't want to copy anybody. Same thing with like some of the other names that I said were too common. I didn't want to copy anybody, so we went away. We did away with the name Jackson. I do really like that name. So, man, that was like a long story for nothing. So that is all of the names that we really liked but ultimately didn't end up going with, which brings us to the best part of the video, I would say, which is the name that we are actually choosing for our son. So this is really exciting for me. People that are close to me already know his name, obviously, because I don't refer to him as like the baby anymore in real life. I refer to him as his name because I'm really attached to it and excited about it. But the name that we are officially going with for our baby boy is Wesley. So Wesley is a name that I've liked for a really long time. I've met one other person in my life with the name Wesley, and he is like the pastor of a church that I used to go to, but he doesn't go by Wesley, he just goes by Wes. So I didn't feel like it was like too much of a coincidence or anything. How you doing back there? Anyway, so yeah, I like the name because it's not super common, but I think it's really cute. I think it's a really just like nice, sweet boy's name. And also, the main thing that I was like looking for when I was trying to pick names is I decided really early on that I wanted my firstborn son's middle name to be my dad's name, which is James. And so when I was picking names, I was like trying to see how they sounded like full name. So I was trying to see how they sounded with like, okay, so like Lincoln, it would be like Lincoln James, or Landon James, Emmett James, Owen James. Like I was trying to see how they sounded with James. And when we were like very down to the wire of like picking the name, we were with Jasper and Wesley were the two. So I felt like I didn't like the combination of Jasper James. I didn't like it. I felt like people were gonna try to call him JJ. I don't like the name JJ. I don't like nicknames that are like that. I don't know. I don't know why. It really bothers me. I'm sorry if your name is JJ. Love you so much, but just not the name for my son. So I felt like ultimately Wesley James sounded really good. Speaking of Wesley James, he's moving a lot right now. It's not the most comfortable thing. But anyway, yeah, we thought Wesley James sounded really good. I'm like super confident about it now. In the beginning, I was a little bit just like, I don't know, picking a name for your kid is like hard. Like it's really hard. It's a lot of pressure. That's their name for their whole life. So we definitely put a lot of thought into it, put months of deliberation into it, and ultimately we're really excited and we cannot wait for our Wesley James to arrive, which is gonna be not very long before he's here. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, please. It would help me out a lot. And if you like this kind of content, if you're excited for future videos that are gonna be coming out, then go ahead and subscribe as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.